Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to video number 8. Seem to be having a lot of technical issues this morning. Uh, as basic as these videos are, I seem to be messing it up. But in today's video, we're going to be covering the story of Adam and Eve. Might make a couple of videos about this to try and extract out what the meat concepts are from these stories that we all know. So the part we're going to deal with here is the eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. In the story, God forbids Adam and Eve from eating of the fruit, but the serpent, according to most English translations, tricked Eve into eating it, and then Adam just kind of followed along. And, well, I think one thing I'd like to start off with on this story is to add perhaps some of the context of where these stories come from. I'm sure a lot of you already know. If you think these were original stories, they're probably not. They seem to be adaptations of some Sumerian and Babylonian stories, primarily the Enuma Elish, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the story that's about the descent of Jared, some tablets and whatnot, and Dead Sea Scrolls. Lots of sources. There seem to be an amalgamation that they kind of put together. So the first couple of stories, from the creation all the way to the Tower of Babel, seem to be a whole bunch of stories where they kind of pick and chose different pieces of different stories to create a narrative that fit the narrative that they were trying to stitch together. And what I'm going to try and do is extract out the meek philosophy that actually exists within these stories. It's just a different way of seeing the same story. So one of the creation myth that this was based on, the gods were like mining on Earth, and they were tired of doing the work for themselves, so they created a slave race, which was humanity. But humans couldn't breed on their own, so the first human eventually was made against the will of Enlil, the evil god. Adapa, I believe his name was, the first human being. But he was given knowledge, but was tricked out of eternal life, much like the Garden of Eden, given knowledge and not allowed and blocked from eating the tree of life. And there's another story where, after probably a cataclysm that happened in the Americas, sometime before the Great Flood of Noah, a group of people known as the Anunnaki came over to the old world, probably in Egypt, perhaps in the Sumer area. And these folks built an Eden, a walled enclosure. Eden, paradise, paradisa, all these words are kind of the same. They mean a walled enclosure. And there they were trading their technologically advanced tools and resources with the local people, and they were trading for women. And this is where Genesis 6 comes from, where the sons of gods were laying with the women of men. And basically, probably they were trading. And someone inside gave humanity advanced tools so that they would no longer have to trade their women to these men. And it didn't go over very well. And they were banned from, of course, returning to the Eden, just like the Garden of Eden. And you can see in these stories, human beings are treated as a slave race, as an inferior race. And they were being denied the ability to survive on their own. And someone comes along, a benefactor, and then provides this ability, these tools or these resources to humanity so that they can survive in this world on their own, perhaps better than they were before. And that seems to be what the same question that's being asked in the story of Adam and Eve. Can humanity survive on their own? Now, the word in the Bible, they say that Eve was tricked. I do believe the Hebrew, the word that is used was she was sold something on credit, which sort of implies that she was given something that she wasn't ready for. So that's what these three stories all seem to have in common. Was humanity given something that we weren't ready for? Or are we just slaves? And this is a fundamental question that you need to ask yourself. It's what we're being asked of today. There are people that are trying to enslave humanity again. They call it 15-minute cities or livable cities or whatever. The wall. They believe that we are not capable of being out in this world on our own. And that's something that each and every single human being needs to answer for themselves. It can't be answered for you. No, the meek belief has an answer, but each human must make it for themselves. Does humanity belong here? I believe the answer is yes. Or are we just slaves and not capable of surviving in this world? It's up to you to decide, my friends. That is the question of the day. And with that, my friends, I will see you on the next one. Until then.